Killstreaks have been a fundamental element to COD, and their integration to Warzone gives the player just one more utility to dominate. Like most of what we talk about on this channel, we've seen a lot of different ones. Many that have never made a return, some that never left, and some you downright forgot about. So join me as we take a look at the entire history of Killstreaks in Warzone. Criteria just needs to be anything you can equip to your Killstreak slot, whatever that may be, but go ahead and comment your favorite Killstreak of all time. Probably one of the weirdest killstreaks in Warzone was the shield turret, which was available at the launch of Warzone. This killstreak was actually featured in my Forgotten Features of Warzone video and was forgotten for good reason. It was terrible. It was a stationary turret that dealt decent damage, had an awful turning speed, and also a pretty slow fire rate. Also, the whole shield thing was supposed to be the big selling point here, but the catch was that you had next to no shield while using it. You could easily get shot at by anyone you were shooting at, especially if you weren't head on with them, making this thing really useless. I will say I wouldn't mind seeing this killstreak make a return if they just buffed it like a lot. Maybe they buffed the fire rate or buffed the turning radius. I don't know what they could do, but something like this would be cool to see in Warzone now because it was not cutting it back then. Also, I'm pretty sure you couldn't even put this in the back of a truck, which I thought would be super fun, like kind of just like a mobile turret. That would be a super cool idea, but it wouldn't let you do that. Just a thought. This is probably everyone's favorite killstreak and definitely has the most utility. It's a staple to COD as a whole, but you know what it does. Showing everyone on your map within a considerable distance is a huge help, especially in a game where people like to camp. The only counter to this is using ghosts, which now only works while you're moving, so this can still be used as a camper's deterrent. Also, it was shortly after Warzone's launch where it was discovered that if you had 3 UAVs active at the same time, you got an advanced UAV effect that would go across the entire map, which was really cool. More on the advanced UAV later. But if you have extra cash lying around and you're at a buy station, there's no way you're not buying at least one UAV for the squad to use. Probably the next best killstreak that would also be a launch killstreak was the precision airstrike. Although extremely inconsistent, even still to this day, the airstrike did a great job of countering rooftop campers or buying you some time if you were being held. The best use for the airstrike was using it on someone you downed with the sniper, but maybe when they went down you could no longer see them. This would always finish them off. You always got an indicator of when someone put an airstrike on you, but it wasn't until just a few months ago where we got an actual direction indicator on the map, and that would show exactly where the airstrike was going, like the entire direction of the area of effect. This means that before then you could get the notification and run away, but since you didn't know which direction the airstrike was going, you could in theory be running straight towards where the airstrike was going to be hitting. Needless to say, this made for a lot of annoying moments. It is seriously so crazy to think that we went 4 years without this direction indicator. Also, there's a lot of times you'll just get killed when you're inside a building, so that's not fun either. The cluster strike is pretty much the precision airstrike's little brother. Although not completely useless, it's much more of a suppression tool than something designed to get kills, but it still serves its purpose very well. Similarly to an airstrike, it does a good job keeping people from reviving someone you've downed, but overall it's a very RNG based kill streak. Like, you'll be lucky to even break shield with it. It's more so just kind of to close off a specific area. It's slow, super random, and kind of weak overall, which is just not the greatest. That's why people just prefer the precision over it. Also, for all the Warzone purists out there, I know it got renamed to the Mortar Strike today, and I think in Warzone 2, but it's still the exact same kill streak. Now, this is the only killstreak that's kind of up for debate as if it's a killstreak or not. Technically, the first time you could get the Juggernaut armor was during the Juggernaut Royale LTM, which would just scatter the crates around the map and you would secure it straight from the source. But later on, they would add them to the bunkers and the subway Easter egg where you could just grab it right off the ground. And then it would kind of act like a loadout drop marker where you would throw it and then secure it. I'm just going to count it as a killstreak because it does take up a killstreak slot. The Juggernaut armor was a lot of fun, but also pretty balanced in my opinion. You were super slow, but obviously you could take a lot of damage, which I think made up for it. You could also only use the minigun. You couldn't use your primary guns that had way longer ranges and whatnot. And also, even if it was broken, it's one of the rarest items in the game, so obviously I think it should be pretty dang good in the first place, but they did a good job of not making it just super OP. It would also eventually make a return to Warzone 2 during the Haunting event, but has not made an appearance in Warzone 3 yet. Counter UAV was one of the rarest items you could find in supply boxes for a while. Pretty self-explanatory, it would just scramble anyone's UAV nearby, and it was honestly really annoying because the map is a super big utility in Warzone. It also functioned way differently in Warzone 1, when you called it in, you would actually place it down like you would an airstrike in multiplayer. I don't really know why this was, because in Warzone 1 you couldn't shoot it down like you can today, so I guess that's just covering a specific area. It still covered a fat area, so I don't really know how much of a difference it made depending on where you put it. But like I said, Warzone Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 3's counter UAV works way differently. You can actually shoot it straight out of the sky. Instead of placing it in a specific spot, it just goes directly above whoever called it in. It is actually a pretty good kill streak because if you're playing Resurgence, it counters all Resurgence pings when you finish someone, which is really annoying. And also there are points in the game where you just can't see the map whatsoever. Like I think when Fortune's Keep dropped, the spawn rate of this was crazy and like the whole map was just always countered. It felt like they had to like fix that. So it's a lot better than people give credit for, I think. This is a kill streak that I honestly forgot about completely until they announced that it was coming back with Season 4 of Modern Warfare 3. Actually, by the time this video goes live, it should be back into the game, so I'm probably going to throw some footage from Season 4 right now. Kill streak was super useful, and honestly, I think this is somewhat game-breaking. Used it once, and it immediately showed you every last circle up until the final circle. Think about doing like 8 recon or signals intelligence contracts in a row, but instead of having to do all that, you just pressed a single button. It was first available through the subway Easter egg, but it wouldn't be until the missile silo contamination monitor station, which was pretty much a buy station that had a bunch of exclusive loot to buy, one of which was the Foresight kill streak. I generally want to know people's opinions on the Foresight kill streak. Do you think it's overpowered? Do you think it should show the rest of the circles like immediately like it does now? I personally think it should be like maybe the next 3 or 4 circles. That way it kind of incentivizes the player to save it for a little bit, not just use it at the beginning of the game, because there is absolutely no reason to not use it as soon as you get it. Truly, I would love to know your all's opinion on the Foresight kill streak. I'm not sure exactly when you could start finding these. All I know is that is another one of those items you found in the subway Easter egg, so I'll go ahead and mention it here. Don't want to be too redundant since I already talked about it. The normal UAV, it just outlines everyone on the map and gives like the directional input this time. I will say I've actually come to prefer the regular UAV because that shows like the level where they at, like if they're above or below you. The advanced UAV only shows the direction and does not show the height, which I think is like kind of dumb. I think they should fix that. It's way more rare and supposed to be better, so I think it should do both. The advanced UAV is also one of those items that you can't find in normal chests. You got to do some like quest, whether it be like a key card or the spy drone contract or honking the horn on Rebirth Island. Here's another one I bet a lot of you forgot about was the RCXD. Super fun kill streak that was very situational. Pretty self-explanatory, and if you've played COD since Black Ops 1, you know that it's just a remote control car that explodes. However, Warzone's RCXD, it did explode. It also left some gas along the way as well. This was more so designed for flushing out campers and clearing rooms and kind of just like throwing a wrench in everything. The explosion did do decent amount of damage. It wasn't really designed to kill people, but it still could kill people in some situations. It could also boost and jump, which is pretty cool. The only downside, and it is a big one, is that its handling is seriously one of the worst of any vehicle in Warzone. Felt super clunky whenever it would run into any small bumps, and even going through like doorways felt super impossible. But regardless, this is just another kill streak I'd love to see make a return in Warzone. Just don't make it like the bomb drone. Combat bow is another super fun kill streak that has yet to make a return to Warzone since Warzone 1. Basically an explosive tip bow and arrow that would explode on impact. Obviously it was really good for destroying vehicles, but was even better for taking out enemies outright since the damage was just crazy. It was almost like using the grenade launcher, like the Warzone 1 grenade launcher in a way. The rate of fire was way faster than it should have been, so clearing out teams was a breeze and required little to no aim. I know there's a lot of people who hated this kill streak and it was definitely overpowered, but there's a lot of things that they could do to balance it a little bit in my opinion. Maybe decrease the fire rate, or don't give it as many shots with it, or just decrease the damage overall. I think this kill streak would be fun to see back in Warzone. But there's no denying that this kill streak has plagued your Warzone experience at least once. This is probably my least favorite kill streak in all of Warzone and might also be the worst. The Sentry gun is a classic COD kill streak, but definitely not something that's designed to be in Warzone. It's just guilty of having a mind of its own and doesn't really do that much damage when it finally does decide to start shooting an enemy. And in a mode where you have double the base health, you're not going to find many opportunities to use this. Also, I think anything that's like AI related that just like does stuff on its own shouldn't really be in Warzone in the first place. Hence why I hope this never makes a return. This was added just before Warzone 2 and is a very mild kill streak, but definitely has its moments. It's just a UAV for supply boxes and shows all supply boxes around you and with what rarity they are as well. Now it's been reworked to only show gold and personal supply boxes and also highlights them through walls, so that's an added convenience to remove the clutter and also show you only what you want to see. Then there's the added bonus of landing together, which will give you one of these right at the start of a game, which is super convenient in my opinion. Kind of tells you where all the good loot is and you don't have to waste your time looting like bad stuff, which I think is very useful. This is probably the most hated kill streak in all of Warzone, and it's no wonder that it shipped alongside Warzone 2. Basically, it was a traditional RCXD, but could fly, and it also one-shot. Someone tell me who okayed that. So yeah, needless to say, at the launch of Warzone 2, these were all the rage, literally. Finding as many of these as you possibly could and stowing them was pretty much a guaranteed kill for each one you had. Also, it took several shots to destroy, which is just ridiculous. Now it's been nerfed to not one-shot, but it still takes you all the way down to 1 HP, which means if you're remotely weak whatsoever, it will kill you. They also move pretty fast, and I'm pretty sure the only way to outrun it is if you have your fists out or like maybe a handgun. I swear you can like always just catch up to someone if you really need to. But I'm pretty confident in saying that many people would be happy if this kill streak was vaulted, never to return to Warzone again. Now we have back-to-back toxic kill streaks here. The cluster mine is exactly what it's called, a cluster of mines. Pretty much a ton of proximity mines together, only they detonate nearly instantly, and there's like a million of them. Also, they vary in size, and I think the bigger ones deal more damage, but the whole idea is that if one goes off, the others probably are too, which pretty much guarantees a kill. Another super inconvenient thing about these is that you can set these up in a small room, and it will become nearly impossible to get into that room without dying because you cannot see the mines. I will say you can pull off some high IQ moments with these by putting them in a high traffic building or just kind of like literally throwing them onto people if you're above them, which is kind of funny. And even if it doesn't kill them, it'll draw their fire. It'll just like disrupt their whole entire gameplay. Here's a kill streak that kind of acts like the Sentry gun that also has a mine of its own. Yet another AI kill streak that I don't think should be in the game. The idea is that you throw it up in the air and it acts as a hunter drone from Black Ops 2 and just waits to find someone random and then kills them. Sometimes you'll deploy this thing around an entire team and it'll just never go off. Other times it'll detonate immediately. Then it'll also go at the worst time possible and it'll kill them, but also you. Like, this has happened to me way more times than I can count. It's super annoying when you get killed by it, but it's really not all that often. Like the Guardian, it is marked on your map, but you can just shoot it out of the air and it's one shot and it moves super slow, so it's really like not that common. I guess in some weird way the amount of times you've been killed by it is a lot less than you think, so I guess that makes it balanced maybe? I don't know. What do you all think about that? I don't think it should be in the game, but there are definitely more toxic kill streaks on this list. Here's another one that's really annoying, but again, just not all that useful. We know the Guardian was first introduced in Black Ops 2 and did a great job at countering objectives and completely sectioning off parts of the map. Well, it does do that in Warzone as well, but I think it would be a whole lot better if it wasn't shown on the map. I think that kind of like defeats the purpose of it. It's also super loud, so you pretty much are always going to know when you're about to encounter one. As far as what it actually does to you, it really does stop you kind of dead in your tracks and is a camper's dream. Overall, I think a suppression mine is far better because for that, you actually need spotter to see. It pretty much does the exact same thing. Now we have the newest kill streak, which is the Bunker Buster. The Bunker Buster is sort of like a precision airstrike in that it takes a targeted location, but this time shoots a missile at it that then penetrates the roof and kills whoever's inside. The initial explosion is powerful but very concentrated, but it also leaves behind a gas trail that makes for another great method for getting rid of campers. It's also only $4,000 at a buy station, which I think is great value. I will say the kill streak does seem a little inconsistent. Sometimes it'll wipe an entire team and other times it won't even get a hit on a building where you know there's a lot of people, but it's relatively new and maybe they've done some work at it that I don't know about, so it could be better than what I'm giving it right now. Also, this kill streak is exclusive to Fortune's Keep, which makes me have a lot less encounters on it, so I'm not the one to really be talking about this here. But I do think it's a really good concept and it's definitely worked out for me sometimes. But that's the entire history of kill streaks in Warzone. Comment if I missed any. Also comment your favorite kill streak in Warzone down below. Also, of the ones that are vaulted, which one of these do you want to come back the most? Anyways, check out my other Warzone videos, join my Discord if you're feeling crazy, and if you liked, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And thank you so much for watching.